Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another great episode of Basscast Radio. I am your host, Brian Carter. And guys, in the studio with me tonight is Bass Geek, everybody. Thomas is on vacation, so him and the wife have hit the road to whatever destination they have chosen. I don't want to tell you guys because you probably bombard him wanting autographs and signatures. So he is on vacation tonight, so it's me and Geek, but we have a really great episode for you guys, and it's something that I saw actually today. I mean, it's really cool. You know, people always ask about content. What content should we cover? What content should we talk about? Keep your eyes open and just read. It is out there, and we're just coming off of iCast. Geeks just coming from iCast, so this is something kind of iCast related. But we're going to talk about that tonight. And it's a little audio clip that we're going to play. So we're going to play that because you probably don't want to hear me read. You definitely
don't want to hear me read.
Yeah, you don't want to hear us read. So it's read very good. And then we're going to discuss the end of it. Before I do that, we're going to dive in and just do what we normally do. Just chatter a little bit around here. Geek, what all is going on in your world? We all know it's a dog days of summer, but we're still pumping out content, everyone.
Yeah, man. I don't know why everybody hates fish this time of year because I am having a blast. We have been catching them, working full time and doing the whole YouTube thing full time. 90% of the time I'll get one day to fish, maybe two if the wife and the good Lord smile on me and the planets align and I do the right kind of dance before the week starts. But man, we have been out. We've caught them on top water. We've caught them on ledges. We've just had a blast, dude. And I mean, we're putting a limit together before 10 o'clock most mornings, I mean, so, and on, a lake that's really, really stingy. So it's been fun, man. I mean, we're having a good time. You need to get out there and fish and enjoy it.
For you guys that don't know, I've been with Geek now for a really, really long time, and Geek is not lying to you when he said he loves fishing in July.
Yeah, July and August.
It is the freaking truth. I mean, he's not lying about it's hot as hell outside right now, but Geek is smashing them, and dude's not lying, everybody. I mean,
I got the videos and the
content
and the playlist to prove it, man, for years and years and years. I've always said that if they would hold tournaments in July and August, day tournaments, not night tournaments, day tournaments, I would take people's money. But they don't. They hold them at night. So I don't take people's money. But anyway, not a lot of good stuff coming, man. We just did the iCast stuff. That's gone real well for us. And we're just pumping out some big mag. You're gonna see a lot of mag baits. Love to get out there on them ledges and throw them big baits this time of year.
Mag drafts, baby.
Yeah. Oh, no, not even mag drafts, but those big. Something that I never understood. And there's three baits we're going to be talking about that you guys really need to listen to because one of them somebody got mad at me about. And I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine. I've been ledge fishing for years, and I've been fishing for suspended bass since well before forward-facing sonar ever come out. And I am I would never say that I'm an expert at anything that is fishing. But I would go against the best of the best. I'd be willing to lay pink slips on the line.
Uh-oh.
For no live scope suspended bass. I'll go toe to toe with anybody because I've got videos that show years ago, 8-9 years ago, were the best baits for suspended summer bass. And, I remember back when everybody was talking about how those bass, you remember this, Brian? You remember when they'd always be, well, now when you find those bass on those ledges or on those deeps, they're going to be right next to the bottom, right next to them, they're going to be active. And what we found out with live scope, which I knew before, is that is not the case. They're active when they're suspended in the water because they're chasing bait.
Yep.
And so I learned how to use spoons and swim baits and jigs and worms and big flukes and stuff like that to go out and catch those bass. And so that's what you're going to see a lot of during the summer with me. Now we get to make it a little bit easier. You know, even though I'll be honest with you, we'll set on a school of 150, 200, sometimes when it's a good day, 300 bass, and we'll catch 5. But again, it's highly pressured. You know, we were out there the other day, and so many people throw walking baits now for those bass. They were suspended up, 5 to 10 feet below the surface. They wouldn't touch a walking bait. Wouldn't touch it. Even when they were busting, you couldn't get them to touch a walking bait. They'd throw something else. And that's how conditioned and how pressured the lake is that I'm fishing right now. But so you'll see a lot of that, a lot of those mag baits. Man, we picked up a 7-inch Damiki armor shad and 1.5 ounce chatterbait.
Wow.
You got to see how that works out, because during the summer, during August, during late July, if you love getting out and cranking those bad boys up during July, but that bite goes away, you need to look into this little bait.
All right, you heard it right there. Geek was talking a second ago about a lot of the tournaments are at night, guys. I just want to remind everyone out there, the Liberty University boys fishing team, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, fishing club will be hosting, is getting fired back up in August. A portion of the money goes to help support the club, help pay for travel and expenses and all that great stuff. But it's every Saturday, Oak Grove, Smith Mountain Lake. I've been sharing it, trying to get everything. We had to cancel. They had to cancel. The water temperature got too hot around here. We were in the mid 90s. It's not the best when, even on 3 fish, it's still not the best to have that type of weather, that type of water condition. But we're firing back up. When this goes up, we'll already have the first one, but the whole month, I think the rest of the month of August, they will be fishing every Saturday. You guys can check out the basscast.com Facebook page for more information about that. And we'll be sharing that with you all there. So there is an opportunity. Like Geek says, though, we got the Tuesday nighter, the Wednesday nighter, the Friday nighter, the Saturday nighter. We got every nighter you can think of going on right here. And you guys love it. We watch the results, which, we share on our Facebook page as well. A lot of people fishing at nights. A lot of people like fishing. I like being out there at night. I ain't gonna lie. It's pretty freaking cool, nice and comfortable and relaxing. I want to fish a little bit and take a little nap, man. Just being out there in nature and hearing just, the quiet. Every now and again, you might hear a boat pass.
Well, I kind of fish nights. Honestly, if you think about it, what part of the night is the best part to get bit?
I want to say from like 11 o'clock on, isn't it?
It's right in the morning. So right before daylight, like right around that 4 or 5 till about 11.
Okay.
And why that is because the water will be at its coolest right through those hours. And, where we live at, what's really great is that those bass will really get up. And you can almost set your watch by at 9 a.m. They'll start busting almost immediately. I don't know what that feeding window is, but everywhere I've been, July through August, you've got that feeding window that starts at 9 a.m. and it runs to about 11, and it's just on like Donkey Kong.
That's awesome.
So,
well, so me and Geek were talking before the show. The Bass Cast, I actually recorded this video with George from Fox 2127 about a month ago. I started. And then George drove all the way up to the James River and hung out with me for a day during the Tackle Warehouse event that was on the James River. And Geek hadn't seen it yet. I know. Geek's been extremely busy. Like I said, iCast and all that great stuff, because I think it aired while he was at iCast. So, I mean, you were gone.
Well,
But,
I didn't hear about the news from work that we're not allowed to talk about yet.
yeah, so it's a lot going on in his world. But I was told also that it was aired in West Virginia, so it got aired on their channel, and I'm not sure where else it was aired. George told me it'd probably be 5 or 6 different outlets that would pick it up. But I want to share my screen. We're going to play it for you guys really, really quick and let you guys take a listen. It's just great, to be able to share what we've been working on for so freaking long around here. The hours spent, the time driving, the hours working on the computer that you all don't see. I mean, yeah, covering the tournament's great. I get to hang out with everybody, get to see everybody. But then after that, you got to go upload it. You got to go edit. You got to go post all the videos. There's another hour behind the scenes you guys don't see on top of the driving a couple hours to a tournament.
I'd say more than an hour, easy.
Yeah. So before we play this, if you're not a member of our Patreon, please become a member. I'm just going to throw this out there. You get the podcast on Sunday. You get the audio version. Video goes up on Monday. But the money goes really to help gas in the tank. I might eat one meal out. Basscast does pay for it. I don't pay for it. When I'm traveling, the Basscast pays for it. It's a business expense. But it helps tremendously. And I really appreciate George of Fox 2127 for doing. We actually met up there. We met at the lake when Major League Fishing was here on Smith Mount Lake. So that's pretty awesome there. So here you go. Let's share the screen here. Share screen. Allow that bad boy. There it is. I think there it is. I got it. Let me go back. Let me hit play, everybody.
Outdoors Bound this morning, and bass are the most popular game fish in the United States. By some estimates, 30 million Americans target largemouth, smallmouth, and spotted bass, and those folks are hungry for all of the bass information that they can possibly get. One of the best sources can be found right here in Virginia. Our George Noliff introduces us to the Basscast.
Look at that.
America has a love affair with bass fishing. They love to chase them, to catch them, and even to watch other people like the pros go head to head with them on TV.
Oh my God! This might be the biggest bass of my freaking life.
So if you want to keep up with all things bass, well, there's this.
Hey guys, Brian here at thebasscast.com. Keith Poche. Hey guys, Brian here at thebasscast.com. Got Dean Gibson right here with us. Hey guys, Brian here at thebasscast.com.
We're talking about the basscast.com, an online media presence that covers everything bass fishing, and especially the pro and tournament circuits. The Lynchburg, Virginia-based online media bass extravaganza, yeah, I just made that a word, is the brainchild of Brian Carter.
We saw a need for tournament information. A lot of people want to know where they're going to fish a tournament, where are tournaments going on each and every weekend. Tournaments now are huge.
You can usually find Carter on the road week after week, following the various circuits like this one on the James River near Richmond.
We're here to get some photos and get some good old interviews.
If it's bass-worthy, Carter's going to talk about it.
It's a billion-dollar industry, and yes, there's so many, like I said, so many events going on each and every weekend.
The Basscast is a website. It's videos, it's interviews, it's gear guides, it's stories, it's lake reports. It's Basscast Radio.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another great episode of Basscast Radio. I am your host, Brian Carter.
And it's all in one place for people who love bass.
It's just something I love, and I love media. And I thought this would be a great way to help anglers throughout the area. So we're all a tight-knit family here that help each other and work with each other.
Y'all do, folks. I know I love bass. Now, in addition to the website, the Basscast also has YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook pages, each with tens of thousands of followers. A lot of folks interested in bass fishing.
Yeah, I understand. Now, George, there's bigger fish out.
All right, we're going to stop the screen here, though. But yeah, really appreciate George and all of them. And I thought he did really good with.
It was awesome.
I thought that was freaking. I mean, it gives me chills watching it, and it's,
that was
and it
awesome.
gives me chills knowing it's me, to be honest, like the goofy guy I am, but the crazy dude I am. But yeah, I thought he did a great job in promoting the Basscast.com and what we do.
Oh
here. And that was it was a blessing, to be honest. It's pretty freaking cool. So
that was really cool.
So for you guys who haven't had a chance to watch it or listen, please go watch this one. This is going to be one you probably want to watch. But for you haven't had a chance to watch it, you can still go. It's up on Fox 2127, Roanoke, Virginia. You can go over there now, and Outdoor Bound is what it's called, his segment. And we're still on the main page, so I think we'll probably be up there for a while because he only does about one or two videos a week. So, and it's a big category right there. So we'll be up on that page for quite a while. So, yeah. Thank you to him, and thank you to 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be up there on there for about another 2 weeks. By the way, I see the algorithm, so that's pretty cool. So, thank you to George and Fox 2127 for that. Really appreciate that.
That's really cool, man. That's really cool. It's a good interview, well edited, good stuff.
So tonight, guys, I was, like I said earlier, I was just browsing the internet today, like I always do, social media after I get off from work and looking around. And, you know, Geek just come back from iCast. And if you didn't check out our last video where Geek gave us, showed us a bunch of stuff that, he found at iCast, some great stuff, by the way. Please go watch or listen to last week's episode of Basscast Radio. I recommend you watch because we kind of throw up the photographs that Geek took. So really appreciate Geek doing that, by the way. But I kind of titled it "Our Small Companies Making a Comeback," and I hit Tackle Retailer because I used to be friends with the gentleman who ran it. It's still in business, just run managed by someone else. But I saw a really, really freaking cool story. And it really is talking about the industry. So we're going to play something else tonight. We're going to play the audio from this. Now, again, earlier I said you probably don't want to hear me and Geek talk at all. So this is AI. I'm not going to lie to you. Oh, I did forget something real quick here, Geek. Good God, before I do that, talking about all that, holy crap. I just got so excited. Our new lineup. Before we jump in this, we're going to play that AI. We got a new lineup. You voted on it. It's here. It's already blowing up, by the way. Guys, Monday is Basscast Radio. Wednesday is the Bass Vault. That's our 4-minute AI version where you can listen to past content written in AI format. Guys, AI format's going a long way. If it can just get bass correctly instead of saying bass, say bass instead of bass, we'll be 100% better. Geek,
Yeah.
I think he'll be there soon. And then Friday is my boy Calvin with before the first cast. So before you make your first cast on a weekend, you can listen to Calvin Herndon, and he's got a lot of great things coming out from there. So thank you guys for voting. And I looked at the numbers today, and it's blown up, and we appreciate that. So here we go, guys. Without no further ado.
The COVID-driven outdoor boom didn't just bring new anglers. It brought with it an influx of cash. Private equity-backed companies, some you've heard of and others you haven't, began collecting brands in the fishing space. Private equity takes many forms, but in its simplest iteration, it is investment capital aimed at buying, reshaping, and flipping companies for profit. Many of your favorite fishing brands are now part of this structure, awaiting their future. The good private equity, like most things, can be good. It can be a lifeline for business owners, spark innovation, and provide support to small brands that can feel lost in an increasingly consolidated retail environment. Private equity firms can also unlock potential scale. Private equity helped propel Yeti from a small fishing cooler company into a billion-dollar publicly traded giant. What was a niche brand, launched as part bear-proof cooler and part added mini tower to your flat skiff, is now a household name. Finally, with the baby boomer generation aging into retirement, private equity can also give folks a clear exit plan. It is often the private equity firms willing to offer the highest bid, or at least the grandest story for what one day could be. As a full-throated capitalist, it's hard to fault either the private equity firms or the sellers for exercising the free market muscle that has served our country so well. The bad while Yeti's success story shines, the reality is that the brand landscape is littered with companies that have fallen victim to private equity's financial manipulation. Private equity does not always build, it also extracts, And usually that's what it does best. It strips away identity, leverages companies with debt, and prioritizes short-term profits over long-term customer benefit. In contrast, independently run businesses often demonstrate greater longevity, arguably because their focus is on the customer. A Harvard Business School study corroborates this, showing higher post-acquisition bankruptcy rates for private equity-backed firms, particularly during economic downturns. One strategy some private equity firms employ is the creation of holding companies, layering operations within a complex web of licenses and intellectual property holding entities. In some of these arrangements, the brand itself has little to no say over what is produced, ensuring a decline in product quality. More notably, this model means that the company can more easily file bankruptcy, sticking their vendors and debt holders with the bill while protecting their own EP. What we can learn from surf. First and foremost, the next generation of the surf industry is already deep into a rebuilding phase. There's a new wave of brands, a combination of startups and smaller heritage ones, that young consumers and independent retailers are excited about. But that resurgence came at a cost, a painful era of lost jobs, unpaid debts, and shuttered businesses. In the fishing industry, our goal should be brand newness without the level of bloodletting surf had to go through. For brands considering the private equity route, there's something to be learned from the failures of the past. First, build cultural protection into the transaction itself. If you care about supporting trade organizations, offering strong employee benefits, manufacturing in a specific region, or one of many priorities that may be important to you, codify that. Make those commitments binding. Don't assume they'll survive post-deal on goodwill alone. Second, go into the experience wide-eyed. Private equity can be a high-risk strategy. Private equity firms are not incentivized to fully spell out those risks, and if their bet on your business goes awry, they'll turn to one of their many other investments while your employees and others are left holding the bag. It's not uncommon for private equity to ask sellers to buy back into the new company. You, or at least your former business, are now making a bet on that entity, its strategy, on its values, and on the conditions of the market. Be clear about what you're gambling with, especially when large debt loads meet a high interest rate environment. Why it matters? Because in the fishing industry, when profit eclipses purpose, something's lost. The purpose of this article isn't to call out brands, it's to make folks in the fishing industry aware of what may be ahead. We need strong brands. We need a strong fishing industry. We need companies willing to invest not just in their products and people, but back into the industry that fights against over-regulation and fights for open and responsible fishing access. The fishing industry in its current form is special. It's worth protecting. We need companies, private equity-backed or otherwise, willing to invest in future anglers and put aside their differences to jointly fight for fishing-friendly policies. Private equity comes knocking on the transom door. The COVID-driven outdoor boom didn't just bring new anglers.
All right, guys, that's it. It restarted. But, if you go back, really, I mean, Geek, let's talk. If you go back and listen to last week's episode, we talked about all this. We really did. I mean, we really hit it freaking hard. And when I saw this today and this whole entire story, now he talked about the surf industry. I don't know anything. I was a big surfing kid in the 90s. Billabong, Stussy. I had all the stickers. I was a geek. Nicola's still a geek, but I was big into it. And then all of a sudden, you kind of saw it, just like they got all bought up, and you just saw it die. And you're like, where did these companies? I mean, if it didn't get bought up, it was crushed so bad. And some of these companies had been around for years, decades. And we kind of saw that. We kind of saw that with Bass. We're not going to bring up the company that's done bought a lot of it, and it's been a couple different companies and brands. It's about two or three or four. It's probably about 3 or 4 companies.
It even started really before the whole COVID thing. I mean, I remember. I think the first South Carolina. I don't remember. Was it Hartwell? I believe it was Hartwell. classic that they were on. I remember then right around or a little bit before that, that's when, Strike King and Lose bought Strike King and
Right.
That sort of restructure, and it just went on and on from there. And Pradco's been around for years now. So I mean, it wasn't just COVID. I mean, this is the path that you're.
I guess it was really brought more to light during COVID.
Yeah.
It really was, and then you saw it become, where if it was, they still had a few good products.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want the whole damn thing. Kind of, they just wanted a couple of the good products, and they were willing to take the chance because they were getting it for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, and you see this in every industry, and this is actually a conversation that I've talked years ago. I mean, this has probably been 15, 20 years ago to one of my buddies. Me and him owned a IT business together, and generally what happens is big companies get too big and they fail. I mean, we've seen it happen. The next company comes along, Walmart. Who would have ever thought Walmart is probably going down the tubes, or McDonald's?
Right.
And right now they are, because there's younger, better service companies who are starting to take larger and larger market shares. And I think once you get so large and you end up getting bought out by private equity, customer service and customer care goes out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens. Now, the good thing about the fishing industry so far, I think true innovation goes out the window. But I've always said in the fishing industry, look, you're going to get 1 to 2, and we said this in that last episode. You're going to get 1 to 2
hits.
True. I don't even know if we can call them game changing.
Yeah.
But in the 90s, I guess we got the Cinco and an A rig, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know we'd mentioned other baits.
I think the Alabama rig was like 2000, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now the chatterbait come along,
right,
in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I mean, you're only going to get that one bait that's going to really truly change the way things are done. That everybody, the beaver, Reaction Innovations was the first one to come out with a sweet beaver. It's why when everybody's like, are you throwing a beaver? It could be a rage rodent or, whoever. It's like, throw that beaver on there. It's kind of like the rattle trap, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Every lipless is a rattle trap to me because I'm that old, So,
like Geek said, we saw that happen. Then we saw media companies be bought up as well. I mean, Wired to Fish, Bass Fan.
Yeah.
It's only a few of us left that are independent. So, I mean, there was.
Yes. And that's generally what ends up happening with private equity companies. They end up betting against those small companies, and they bet against them to fail. And they make their money and they move on and leave shambles in the wake. And it's always the fact that some small entrepreneur picks up and fills the gap. That's how we do. It's exactly what he said with the surf industry. So there's already small companies that are stepping up and making products for the surf industry that they're excited about. And anytime you get private equity companies in, the one hope, because I know a lot of the people that work for a lot of these companies, and a lot of them are anglers and they love to fish. So maybe,
It's rolling the dice.
Yeah, maybe since it's stocked with anglers and not people from outside the industry, that maybe we can preserve some of the good companies, good products that's been out there for a long time.
So, guys, we're seeing this, on top of that, this AI boom that we've seen here the last year. Just in the last month, Mr. Zuckerberg has been making a lot of purchases, and he's kind of done the same thing. There was a company he bought a week ago. He took 5 parts out of it and threw the rest of it in the trash can. He said, I can buy the company cheaper than I can buy the person. So he just bought the whole entire lot. And, it's like buying
Yep.
a whole bunch of baseball cards and getting 2 baseball cards out of it you want real bad and throwing the rest of them in a trash can. There you go. That's pretty much what he did.
If you're our age, it's like hitting that one pack that's got Daryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden in it.
Junior, something like
Yeah,
that.
King Griffey.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. And that's what they do. That's what they do. They take what they want and they throw the rest away. But that's where small companies then step back in and pick up the slack in that. And it's where they come, and can make their living doing that.
And Geek brought that up last week. If you please go back. If you haven't listened to last week's show,
it was really great.
Go back and listen right now. It was a great show. And Geek brought that up last week with some of the items that he saw at ICAST, and more of the mom and pops people starting to come back into it, and a resurgence in the the small companies, like I said, mom and pop businesses, and or 5 or 10 employees or less companies that have come out with some really great stuff.
Yep. A lot of good companies. We talked about the core pack. We talk about 2 products right there. We talk about summertime and keeping fish alive, and you was talking about how the water temp got up into the 90s. That cooler pack is a great thing.
Yes.
You're not just floating bottles in there. You're not dumping ice in there. It's an 8-pound block of ice that's going to melt slowly, so it's going to stay cooler longer. And I'm, like I said, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. The other company that I actually got to test on the market was a company called Buzzer Rocks. And let me tell you, I've used a lot of live well treatment, and you can find these and they stay sold out on Tackle Warehouse. And, I don't know if I don't really know if you can find them anywhere else, but they are called Buzzer Rocks. And they've got 2 or 3 different kinds. A couple of them are release oxygen. The others are called energy parties. And man, you put those in there and you want to talk about making those bass being lively when they are released. It regenerates, rejuvenates them, helps them regenerate the slime, and they'll jump out of the live well on you. I'm telling you, like it is amazing. Like you've got to make sure you drop them in, but you got to make sure you run your recert once in a while to help dissolve them up. But man, they're incredible. I've not seen.
He said, make sure you got your pool noodles in. By the way,
that's right.
You don't want them things jumping out,
or just let that cooler pack float right there on top.
That's true too,
because that thing's about 2 inches. I mean, an 8-pound block of ice that just sits in the top, so it'll take up a lot of that space. But a lot of good stuff down there, man. A lot of small companies. I can't remember some of the names of them. Go watch my YouTube video along with it, because I mean it is like an hour of companies. I mean, we throw in some Daiwas and Shimano's and Lew's and companies like that, but I mean we throw in a lot of really interesting companies. A lot of you guys, man, who we showed 2 really affordable options when it comes to bank anglers. If you the deeper has been around for a very long time. If you haven't seen it, you haven't heard of it, you need to go check it out, especially if you're somebody that fishes, a same creek, stream, pond, that sort of stuff from the bank. I mean, it's an impressive, very nice, has bottom mapping capability, little sonar that you can cast out and just slowly drag in, just like you was in a boat trolling, making a map of the contour map of the bottom of the pond.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
I did a short from our last video and I uploaded that, and the boys from the company they didn't reach out to me, but they did like it and shared it and all that great stuff. So they're really excited about that. So, but guys, there's, like I said, Geeks on. I just thought that this is a really great story coming off from iCast, and Geek bringing us the video last week, and then Geek actually showing, if, like I said, head on over to Bass Geek's YouTube channel right now, watch his video as well. Him and Mike run around the show. Good looking Mike, everybody. And that's our boy Mike. We love him. And do a great job showing you guys all the great product. And I guess we're just trying to really encourage you guys. Yes, I talk about it all the time. Support your local tackle store. You're gonna be in that big bass event coming up. I know, God, September, October. I have looked at the schedule, and you're gonna say, "Oh shit, I done ran out of these blue Cincos they're eating the hell out of, and there's a brand new bass boat on the line."
Yep.
And if you don't support SML Tackle Shack or Dwayne up there at Smith Mountain Lake, and they go under, you're not going to get your baits in 2 days from Discount Tackle. I can tell you that, or from Tackle Warehouse.
Nope. And
that tournament's going to be over.
Yes. And
you might pay a quarter over. You might pay 50 cents over, for them to help keep the lights on at these tackle stores. But when you need a bait and there's a lot of money on the line, because you done already invested $100,000 in this bass boat, then another couple $1,000 in rods and reels. We're not even talking about the tackle. But take care of them. But then also, look for those, unique baits and unique tackle out there that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And say, hey, let's pick up a pack of this and try it out. Let's pick up something new. And Geek talks about this on his YouTube channel, and he shows a lot of baits and stuff like that you guys won't probably see anywhere else. And say, hey, maybe the fish haven't seen this, or, maybe, I talked about it, and we talked about it a long time ago. Seems like a long time ago, but, when we were in the January, February, March, visiting shows of how some of the a resurgence of older tackle was starting to come back on the market.
Oh yeah.
We made a joke one day about the spinner bait. You didn't ever think, spinner bait trying to make a little resurgence. Nobody, throwing spinner bait there for a while.
Yep. Past 2 years, man, I've had a really good bite earlier in the year, post-spawn spinnerbait bite. Gosh, it's been so fun.
So support these local businesses. That's what we're trying to say tonight. Because we need to get that. We need to get that wheel turning again.
Yeah. And those local tackle shops are where you're going to really get introduced early on to those small bait makers.
Right.
And that's where you're going to find them, because those guys are going to have those hand-tied spinner baits or jigs or hand-made plastics or hand-poured plastics that you're not going to get anywhere else. And the great thing about it is, what's great about them, and shout out to my guy Ramsey Bates, I'll be seeing him in a few weeks, and we've been wearing out the largies on the big underspin with a 3.7 girthy RBA swim bait that he made the color that I wanted. And awesome. Those big companies ain't going to make those colors that you want. They're going to sell the ones they sell, and that's the end of it. So
I'm going to give a shout out to Deep Throat Jigs, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
He's down in North Carolina. Like I said, we've been kind of teaming up together. And he fishes Bugs Island. He fishes Smith Mountain Lake. And, the tackle box, when it was here locally, they would have a lot of spinner baits, a lot of jigs. We all knew a lot of people brought them in and made them and all stuff. And that's the cool thing about it is they kind of, they know what bites, they know what the fish want, they know what you're going to catch bass on. And so why would they make a color they know they're not going to sell? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there it is. I mean, why would you, make a color that the fish ain't going to bite on Smith Mountain Lake, or they're not going to bite on Bugs Island, or they're not going to bite on Lake Anna, or not going to bite dinner where Bass Geek fishes in Tennessee.
Yep.
On South Holston. So, I
Yep.
mean, why would they make something there to sell to you that ain't going to bite? So,
and the thing of it is the good thing is if you get to know those guys, they'll share a little bit of love with you. They'll share. Those local bait makers will share. Well, what's going off, what everybody's buying right now, and you jump in on that and get a little ahead of the game. So,
all right, so guys, I really appreciate everybody listening tonight. Like I said, I thought it was a really good article. FTR, Fish and Tackle Retailer. That's where it came from, by the way, guys. I'm not taking any credit for the story whatsoever. You can head on over to their website right now. You can read the whole thing if you'd like to. But it's a really, really great article talking about the resurgence of small companies getting back into it and making tackle that we all love. So, Geek, what is happening in your world before we wrap this bad boy up and move on?
Well, hopefully we're going to hit the beach in about a week, but don't worry about it. We've got enough videos in the can. Like I said, it is the season of big baits. I mean, if you're not throwing to me, if you're not throwing something that's got the word Magnum in it, then you're throwing the wrong thing. So you better be throwing those big mag worms. You better be throwing those big mag swim baits out there, big soft ones out there deep, those mag underspins. Better be throwing those big mag chatterbaits and Nico rigs too. Maybe another video that's coming out that I got some hate about when I dropped a few years back when we was talking about ledge fishing. I kind of gave up some juice in that video, and we're gonna give it up again. So the good old mag Nico rig out on those deep haunts in the summer. It is a beast.
All right, guys. We're gonna be hitting the road again, August the 25th. It's the 2-day BFL on the James River. But before that, guys, we got some Major League Fishing. I think their final event starts next week. The Bass Pro Series Tour. Also, Bassmaster Elite. There's another event there as well. Congratulations. I could have brought this up at the beginning, but congratulations to everyone who qualified because they wrapped up the Tackle Warehouse events this past weekend. Mr. Robinson's Marty Robinson's one of his sons. I ain't gonna even mess the name because I won't screw it up. But he qualified for the Bass Pro Series. Also, Shaw Grigsby, congratulations. Professional fishing. He gets to chase alligators, by the way. That's what he's been doing for a while. So he loves catching them alligators and I guess they move them and put them in another. I don't want nothing to do with no daggone alligator.
No, I'm not wrestling an alligator. I'm okay.
Heck no.
I'm good. I'm not doing it.
Hey, it's Florida, and that's what happens down there in Florida. They're all over the daggone place. I like to see them be extinct. I don't see a need for alligators. That's just me. I don't know. I don't see a need for them.
I don't want them to be extinct, but I don't want one around me nowhere. I'll tell you what, where we're going down in South Carolina, I'll never forget. I'm standing out there fishing a pond right across from the condo one day, and there's one sitting on there's a tennis court on the other side and fence, and then there's the bank in the pond. There's an 11-foot alligator sitting out there. So, and I'm sitting there casting, looking at that alligator going, that's insane. I'm like, I could literally put a harness and ride that son bitch.
So, congratulations to Shaw on wrapping up a great career. I mean, he's inducted in every type of Hall of Fame you can ask for. I mean, probably one of the coolest anglers out there. If you guys like to have him on the show, DM us, message us, say, hey, let's get Shaw on. To be honest, I think if we did get Shaw on, it'd probably be one where we might do it live, get people to ask questions. Because
Yeah.
I mean, he's done so many podcasts and a great career and a great,
Oh,
you know, what he's done in the fishing industry as a whole is amazing. And
good guy.
I sat down. I haven't reshared it yet, but I thought about resharing a podcast I do with him. Me and Danielle down in Tennessee, dinner with Geek. Me and Shaw sat on a boat in a Triton dinner, because you guys all know he's sponsored by Triton. And I just did a podcast together. I just threw down the microphones, we clipped them on, hit the phone, record on the phone, and it was a conversation / podcast, and it was great. And I'll get that back up and reshare it to you guys. But
speaking of companies that are disappearing, Triton boats are going away.
Oh wow!
Didn't they make that official this year? This is the last year they were going to be around.
I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure. Speaking of private equity companies.
Wow. Might be a reason for Shaw leaving on top of that, because there's his big sponsor.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of puzzles. There's a whole lot of puzzle pieces that make this tournament bass fishing, boys and girls, and we all know that. So, all right, wrap it up. Have a great night. Thank you all for listening. Patreon link in below. Please become a Patreon member. It helps more than, $50, 10, 20, 50, whatever it is. Helps put gas in the car, a meal somewhere. It's great. Thank you guys for being a part of that. Again, thank you, George and Fox 2127 for having me on. Have a great week, everyone. And Thomas hopefully be back with us next week after he's taking a little time off, which he needs, because he does 12 podcasts a week. So I know he's pretty daggone tired. Have a great week, everybody.